Hey everybody, welcome to a new PCNN. I'm Al Mega with
Klep Napier.
from Critix, and I'm from Crusaders. And today, Klep, we're talking to somebody that's doing some hot stuff on Netflix.
Listen, man, I'm so excited. I'm a huge fan of this show since season one. Since I've seen it even aired on the internet, like displayed, marketed, I was all about the show.
Yeah, agreed. I absolutely love this particular program. There was an episode of the Transformers that this guy had did that, thank God my brothers were not in my crib with me because I would have busted them up. I'm talking about none other than the incredible creator, producer, and occasional director of the toys that made us on Netflix.
Yeah.
My man from Queens, New York, Brian Volk-Weiss. What's up, brother?
Hey guys.
What's going on?
And thanks for having me on.
No,
Appreciate
man.
it.
No, thank you for coming out, taking time out, because I know that in just a few days, man, 10 days from now, season 3 of the Toys That Made Us begins. Everybody's so excited. You're going to be covering a plethora of toys, and there's specifically 2 that we're going to be stuck on within this series. And I also want to congratulate you on the 3rd season because, as I was telling Klep, I noticed the theme song changed from the 8-part docuseries to continuing series. So congrats.
You get the reference?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yo, you did. What do you mean? What reference?
Where I kind of stole that from?
No, what is
Sounds like G.I. Joe a little bit.
Was it?
It's so in Star Trek, Kirk and Spock, it was our 5-year mission.
Okay.
Ah.
And with Picard, it became our continuing mission.
I got you. I got you.
Nice play on words there. So, Guy, before we even get into the show, I want to know a little bit about yourself and let people get in touch with your fandoms and whatnot, and what got you involved. You know, not just with the Toys That Made Us, but also with comedy and all. I mean, you're telling me you work with Miss Tracy Morgan at my C-Town. Insane. We were talking prior to this, which is great. So, man, so let's get into this. You know, you're a Queens native, correct?
Yep.
And where did your passion for, comedy, TV production all come from?
I mean, the comedy came later.
Okay.
Wanting to be in show business, wanting to be a director, that was all from Star Wars. I was so young when I saw it that I didn't know this word, but basically if you listened to what I was saying when I was 3 years old, you would have thought that I thought Star Wars was a documentary. When I grow up, I'm going to fly an X-Wing, I'm going to do this. And it freaked my parents out, because I wouldn't shut up about it. So they were like, one day my mom got me this book, and it was like a kid's book about the making of Star Wars. And it showed the Death Star was just a model. C-3PO with his mask off, you see Anthony Daniels. So from that moment on, I wanted to be a director, and I wanted to be in show business.
Awesome.
So that was probably 4 or 5 when that happened.
Wow.
Got to LA, I was never really into comedy before. I really was just drama, sci-fi, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then just through the randomness of life, I met a manager. All he represented was comedians.
Okay.
Started working for him just because I needed money and I was broke. I went to a comedy club. I started working for him on a Monday. I didn't even know what a manager was. I went to comedy. I went to the Laugh Factory here in LA. I was only supposed to go to 1 show. I stayed for 3. That's like 9 hours of comedy. And I fell in love with it. So, yeah, one happened when I was 5. One happened when I was 22.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Now, who are some of the comedian names that you work with? I've seen Dane Cook was one of them.
Jeff Ross, bro. I love Jeff.
who else have you worked with?
If I answered that the way I wanted to answer that, I'd look like such an asshole.
Name drop, come on.
Well, it's not about name drop. It's just Kevin Hart, Jim Gaffigan, Alana Glazer, Sarah Silverman, Eddie Izzard, Judd Apatow, Jimmy O. Yang, David Cross, Williams, Jerry Seinfeld,
Wow.
Mark Maron.
As you started getting into, I mean, look at all these names. As you started getting into, this, and being a producer, manager, learning the business. I mean, how excited were you? I mean, were you totally like your mind blown, or you just, just rolling with it?
I just did it, man. I just did it. I mean, you can see some of my early work. It's still out there. It's not the best, but I just did it, and I learned, and I got better, and I just kept moving and moving, and you just got to keep moving forward. Like, take action. That's where a lot of people don't succeed, because they don't even try. So, of the people that don't try, of the people that do try, probably about 80% don't keep trying. So, like, I'm no genius. I'm no different than anyone else. I'm probably of average IQ, average everything, but I have a tremendous tolerance for failure, and that I just didn't get hung up on fucking up.
Gotcha. And then exactly, you should never get hung up on that portion of trying to move forward. Things happen. You just, like you said, just keep rolling with the punches. There's an old salsa song by Hector Lavoe, and he goes, "Pa'lante, pa'lante como un elefante." Just keep charging like an elephant forward. Keep going forward. Who cares? It's the truth, man. That's the New York way of life, brother. I know you got that Queens hustle, and that's how you doing your stuff too. You know what I mean?
Oh, I got.
No, there goes my wife. She's a Queens girl, so once she heard Queens, she goes, "Queens all day for you." He goes, "Yeah, awesome."
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So, when did you start getting then into saying, "Okay, I want to start doing my own thing"?
Mm-hmm.
How did that start getting to develop within you? That passion, like, all right, I want to start having control.
So I read a book in 2006 called The Long Tail, and the reason I always point out the year I read the book, if you don't read it now. It'll be the most boring thing you ever read. But the reason why the book was so interesting in 2006, it predicted everything that was coming, just not by name. It predicted iTunes, it predicted YouTube, it predicted Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon. It predicted all of it. So I basically said to myself, well, I could keep doing what I'm doing, and it sucks now, and it'll always suck. Or I could bet everything I got that this book is right. If it's right, my whole life will be different, and everything will be different, and I'll have freedom. If it's wrong, I'm just going to be where I am now. So I got nothing to lose. And that's exactly what I did.
Wow. I mean, that's always the hardest step.
Taking chances. Yeah, taking chances. You got to go. You got to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did the seeds start forming for the toys that made us?
It was about 8 or 9 years ago. I was at Borders Books, if you remember those.
Oh,
Borders, wow.
And for whatever reason, I don't remember anymore why, I was like, yeah, where do Transformers come from? Like, why is the truck the good guy? Why is the gun the bad guy? And there's not a single book in the bookstore about the origin of Transformers. Then I checked G.I. Joe, nothing on G.I. Joe, little bit on Star Wars, little bit on Barbie, nothing else. And then they had a fucking whole shelf full of books about the War of 1812 or something. So that was the origin. I tried selling it many times and failed, came close a few times, and then, thank God, Netflix jumped up and did it.
What did you tell them when they said that they had to snap it up?
Yeah, what was the initial pitch?
It was funny. It was also, again, man, there was a lot of luck. There was a guy, so I did a lot of stand-up comedy. I still do, but I did a lot of stand-up comedy for Netflix. And there was a guy in the department at Netflix that bought stand-up specials. That guy was moved over to the original reality TV side of the company right when it was starting. Like, he might have been one of the first people ever put in that department. Now, three things were very lucky. Number one, that guy moved over into unscripted. Number two, I'd done a lot of business with him, so he trusted me. Number three, and here's like the crazy one, he had been to my house and he had seen my toy collection. And that's a really important thing because producers, just like actors, get typecast. So I was always the comedy guy, stand-up comedy. I could sell anything comedy. I could sell anything stand-up. Apparently, I didn't know how to do anything but that. I could never sell anything that wasn't stand-up or comedy. But this guy trusted me through business, and he knew I loved toys. So I kept calling him, come on, man, do the toy show. And then one day, he called me up, and he goes, I've been thinking about your toy show, and here's how we would do a toy show. He told me a bunch, but the thing he told me that was super important, and you can see this in every episode, he said, the best show for Netflix in terms of what works for us is that 70s show. And the reason why that 70s show works is because it takes place in the 70s, so old people want to watch it. But the cast is really young and sexy, so young people want to watch it. So you get everybody, old people, young people, boys, girls, men, women, everybody liked the show. So from that note, I produced, shot, edited everything. My own tape was about 5.5 minutes long that showed how I would do a show about toys. Sent it to them, loved it. They ordered 8 episodes.
Wow.
Awesome.
So they ordered 8 episodes. So was that your original intention in your mind to keep it at an 8 episode, like important toys in our history? Or did you expect to move forward?
Hell no, I wanted 10.
Awesome. So how do you pick the toys that you discuss on episodes?
I got in my mind 3 quote unquote rules. Rule number 1, there needs to be at least one character that could be on if there ever was a Mount Rushmore of toys, it could be on the Mount Rushmore of toys. So like my wife, she don't know anything about Transformers. She could pick Optimus Prime out of a lineup. She knows who Bumblebee is. So you gotta have that. 2, I really wanted every toy, and the only toy I broke this rule on kind of was He-Man. I wanted every toy to go on sale and then to kind of never stop being on sale. And the reason for that, back to that 70s show, is I wanted multi-generational fans. So like G.I. Joe and Barbie, those are 4 generations. 3 generations. My Little Pony, 3 generations. So that's how you get eyeballs, but that's how you also get people to love a show, because a dad could show his daughter. You know, a daughter could show her mom something. So that's the second rule. And then the third rule was it had to be a good story. There's certain toys that are very popular, but it was like someone had an idea, they made it, it went on sale, it was a huge hit. That's it.
And that's it.
There's no twists, no turns, no sideways, no downs, no loss, no risk. And it might be popular, but it's not a good story.
Agreed. It's like I went to the HasCon that they did, what was it, like 2 years ago. How awesome was that show? I don't know if you got to go. Did you?
Oh, I was shooting. I was in Japan.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, we had the Takara guys from the Transformers just chilling there at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. We had the G.I. Joe guys, everybody that made the cardboard packages. I went to a panel how they were discussing that they would go around the office and just pick somebody, hey, can you just do this crazy pose? And they will basically use their picture as the picture for the cardboard stock. I'm like, wow, this is insane. So basically we're looking at Hasbro's employees and all these card stocks when we were kids.
Yeah, that's right.
How awesome is that?
Now, Brian, I have a question. So you mentioned that you had like your own extensive little toy collection. Of the first 2 seasons that you've had, are any of these in your collection? And which ones are your favorite?
Well, some of my toys made it into the show.
Okay.
But none of the toys from the show made it into my collection.
Although you would want them to.
Yeah, I mean, I went out and subsequently bought stuff. So, like, because a lot of the toys we show in the show were either from the people that made the show, like got this guy named Rich Myrick, like probably 30% of the toys we show are from his personal collection.
Nice.
Really? Wow.
I would go off and buy my own shit because, like, I was not into He-Man at all. So when the show was greenlit, zero He-Man. Now I got a whole shelf of He-Man.
Oh, really?
So that's. I always say the best thing and the worst thing that could happen to a collector is they sell a TV show about their collection.
What was the hardest He-Man pickup?
Probably Gen 1 He-Man.
Nah, man. I saw a guy at Northeast Comic kind of had like 15 in the box.
Yeah, the thing with He-Man is they're not that hard to get. It's just the problem is because of this fucking horrible show called The Toys That Made Us, price has gone up by like 8 trillion%. So I bought a Battle Cat about a month before season 1 came out because I fell in love with it because of its prominence in the episode.
Yeah.
I paid $20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Mint condition, saddle, helmet, $20. Now, out of the box. Now, good luck getting that under 80.
Yeah.
That's true.
Absolutely.
I mean, the show I mentioned definitely had a guy that had a plethora of toys. So he goes, I got lower conditions. He opened up a box. He has 15 different He-Man, Skeletor figures, Battle Cats. Okay, he goes, what do you want? Do you want the short? I mean, then he has bags. He put them together for you there based on the condition you want. But it was insane. So basically, they were ranging anywhere from 25 all the way to 100 and change for some mint ones.
So I see Battle Armor He-Man everywhere. I never see Gen 1 He-Man with a cross across his chest.
This dude had like
never
15,
see it.
I swear. This guy drove me nuts. I was like, God, if I take this home, my wife's going to kill me.
I know that feeling.
Oh, yeah, well, at least you have your own little room the way it looks right now with a cool Kevin Smith poster behind you.
Kevin Smith.
I see that Toys That Made Us box.
I'm at work right now.
Oh, you are? Oh, nice.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Well, let's talk about the box set, because you guys now have the DVD box set that's coming, the Blu-ray, I'm sorry. Blu-ray box set. When's that hit the stores?
About 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so it's already out. And what kind of contents are in this thing? Any behind the scenes, any bloopers, any...
Let's go to the box. So we got it says 15 new things, but it's really over 20.
What are you including with this? Is there a gift in there?
Now here's the greatest thing. Yes, there is a gift. It comes with this awesome little TV.
Oh,
it's
looks
like
cool.
a toy. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, it's very clear.
Yes.
Three-dimensional TV toy. Now here's the greatest thing that comes. This is going to blow your mind. Are you sitting down?
Yes.
Yes.
We were able to secure, you're not even going to believe that we did this, a featurette with show creator Brian Volk-Weiss. It was so hard to get a hold of him, but we got him, sat him down, and he agreed to do it. So that was amazing. Then we got the whole thing. So it's just tons of cool stuff that we loved that we had to cut. Like the 80s Barbie marketing. The whole story of G.I. Joe and Cobra, selling the show, the actual sales tape that I told you about is in here.
Nice.
We did a whole amazing thing. We did a great interview with Todd McFarlane, basically put the whole interview on this. We did a whole tour of Takara, in Tokyo. None of it got on the show, really. Whole thing's on the Blu-ray. A lot of deleted scenes. Yeah.
You say Transformers to me, you're just giving me a heart attack. You went to the factory?
We didn't go to the factory. We went to Takara headquarters.
To the headquarters. Oh my God, Takara headquarters.
Awesome.
How did that headquarters look? Any cool things in there? Stand out?
It was. I mean, I can't stress enough to you how bananas it was. First of all, it was a very Japanese style office, and what I mean by that is they kind of don't have walls, so
a lot of glass,
and it's just a gigantic floor with just hundreds of people at desks working, and you could hear a pin drop. It was very quiet.
Oh wow.
So, and then what was so interesting about the headquarters was everywhere that we were in the office was very nice and fancy and well lit and just beautiful, very classy, very expensively done. Then just because they started to trust us and they understood we were like real fans, and they confirmed we really were doing this for Netflix, because a lot of people doubted that.
So they had to confirm first? Like, wait a minute.
We had a letter from Netflix, because a lot of people are full of shit, and they're like, I'm making a documentary for Netflix or HBO. So as they start, we were at the car headquarters for 3 days. Day and a half in, the main guy was like, you know what? You would love the basement. And I'm like, I bet we would. He took us to the basement, guys. Dude, it was...
Stop it.
First of all, I mean, it was the exact opposite of their headquarters. Like, we were in a basement. It was like a dark, dusty, badly lit everything. They had these giant, for lack of a better expression, like Tupperware containers.
Yeah.
They put them wrapped in like kind of, not dirty, but kind of like oil napkins and paper towels. They'd have like the wooden head that made like Metroplex's head.
What?
They had all the prototypes of like, there's almost nothing left from Gen 1. So like even us finding that book of Polaroids that had the balsa wood Optimus Prime and the balsa wood Ironhide, like that had never been seen before. But like that basement, dude, like we like
it's holy ground,
right?
What's that?
It's holy ground now.
I mean, it is holy ground, but the thing that was so interesting was like there's some companies that are just so good at documenting their contributions to pop culture. Kara, like, they were like finding it with us.
We still have this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God.
Oh, what's in that green one? I don't know. Let's open it. And then use that light box thing. You know, it's like that white light coming up that we put the thing. We travel with that all over the world. Yeah. So we're literally going through these boxes, finding, like I said, like Metroplex's head and like putting it on the light box. We found that VHS tape guy, put it on the light box. Like, and yeah, I mean, it was so, for lack of a better expression, real and organic. Like, nothing, and we didn't even film it. Like, we filmed the things we were finding, but in retrospect, we probably should have filmed walking down to the basement, like open boxes. Like, we didn't even film any of that, and because possibly people would have thought it was fake.
That's right. Okay.
That would have been awesome.
Basement, because I have a friend on my team on the No Price podcast, and he has a comic book collection, but he says he keeps it in the attic, and he hasn't been up there in over 20 years. So I would probably have the same approach going up to his attic, dusty, seeing a bunch of boxes. Because he goes, I don't know what I have in there. I'm like, oh my God, one day we have to do a video of you opening these boxes and be surprised.
Hot up there.
Yeah, I know. He knows, and I hope he took care of him. So, so before we get into the third season, amongst the first two seasons, did you have a particular favorite episode?
Star Wars is always my favorite anything of everything. So
that was
take that as whatever. But if I can't say Star Wars, probably Star Trek. Even though I recognize He-Man is probably the best episode we did, even though I like Barbie a lot as well. Here's what happened with me with the Star Trek episode. I produced a 50th anniversary 2-hour doc for History Channel on the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. And I'm really not very proud of it. For a variety of reasons, it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. A lot of the ideas that I was not allowed to use in that made it into the Star Trek episode of Toys. So it's like that Quantum Leap saying, you know, to make right where once went wrong. Like, it just makes me happy, these ideas that I had that now I know the fans really seem to like, that I was able to save them.
Excellent.
And I'm just a huge Trekkie. That doesn't hurt either.
One thing I love about the series that really stands out to me is like the education portion of it, like learning about the things that you grew up on. Like the Star Wars toys had the best backstory about how, you know, the toys were being made the same time as the movie, and everything was so secretive, and, you know, like that to me was just amazing how you guys put that out there. So I want to thank you for that, because that's what made me fall in love with this series. The history and learning, you know, because at that time you're just a kid and you just love playing with them, but to see how it all came together is just amazing.
And as a collector, like I said, I wanted to beat up my brothers after some episodes. Oh.
Yeah, I once too had a large He-Man collection, and I was generous enough to give it to a family member.
He was generous,
and
it was unwillingly, I bet.
It didn't make it too far after that.
It was funny. It always cracks me up, man. You used a word that's like a dirty word out here in show business. History. And it always cracks me up because all the buyers out here, they think the only people that like history, some 75-year-old white guy in upstate New Hampshire or something. And I'm always like, you know what? A lot of people like history.
Yeah.
You just have to tell it right.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And everybody has their interest, and if you give them the history of their interest, they're all in. Absolutely. Like I said, with the G.I. Joe thing at HasCon, I was...
Dirty look here from Karen. So if you have one more question, please, let me fire away.
All right, so let's get into season 4. What can we look for? Season 3 of the Toys That Made Us. I know 4 is coming too after this.
God will, man. God with your support, hopefully. We got Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, My Little Pony, and wrestling toys.
And you did I noticed you guys did like a big contest or you were looking for people with a extensive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collection. I found out about that. I have one actually, and I missed out. But tell us about that process real quick, and how many people did you guys actually find?
We found a lot of great people, and not only that, we found some great collectors who had a lot of prototypes. We're all about the prototypes, and we found actually had some relics that will blow your mind. Like the Turtles episode, I mean, it'll blow your... I don't want to get cocky. I should lower your expectations.
I can't wait to tell my little brother about this, because I bought him at least 3 of the 4, and Mama bought him the rest. But I know he's going to be very excited for this episode. I mean, you're doing My Little Pony, as you said. The Power Rangers, which is also... that's more my brother's generation. So I know that generation is going to enjoy it, but me being the one that spent that bank on it, I'm definitely dying to see what's up. And, all right, so, again, what's the date that it's dropping on
November
Netflix?
15th?
November 15th.
Man, and then after that, when will season 4 drop?
God willing, man. I really think I got 8 more great episodes in me, and I really want to tell those stories. So,
Great.
you know what?
So with that, where can our wonderful listeners, you know, get in touch with you or check you out and see what you're up to?
I think Instagram is the best and easiest place. I'm also on Facebook, but Instagram, I try and post at least once a day. And, you know, if I don't have anything cool, I'm not going to post, but it's a good way to see what we're up to.
You have any other questions for our man Brian?
No, I'm all set. I'm just excited for this season, man. I cannot wait to see it, especially the Ninja Turtle one, because I was a huge turtle freak, so we can't wait.
Please let me know what you think. Like, reach out, shoot me an email.
Oh, we definitely will. And folks, this is Al Mega with Keith Napier, and the one and only amazing Brian Volk-Weiss is going to make me probably go bankrupt after this next season of the Toys That Made Us. We appreciate... We appreciate your time, my brother. Thank you so much. We so look forward to the next season. Everybody, thank you for listening, and make sure you tune in November 15th to the Toys That Made Us on Netflix.
Woo.
All right. Thank you guys for your time.